Hello guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to talk about environment variables in Lambda function, how to create them and use inside Lambda function code. Before that, a quick recap of what we have achieved so far in our AWS Data Engineer Complete course. We learned about how to create a new AWS account. We learned about IAM services, roles and permissions. We learned about S3 bucket, a different thing related to S3 bucket, like how you can make your bucket public, why it is not recommended, S3 account access, pre-signed URL in S3. We also talked about how to install AWS CLI and use it. We also talked about how you can use Auto3 SDK for Python. Now we are currently discussing a Lambda function. In the last video, we talked about what is AWS S3 event notification and how we can use it as a trigger for our Lambda function. This Lambda function we created, which was supposed to copy a file from source bucket to target bucket as soon as the file arrives in source bucket. So we are going to use the same code for our today's demo. Let's start with the topic now. What are environment variables? They are nothing but key value pairs stored outside your code that your application can read at runtime. So we do not keep them inside our Lambda function code. Instead, we keep them in a configuration. If you go to configuration and in the left hand side, you will see a section of environment variable. Here you can click, and in order to add a new variable, you can click on add it. Then you can click on add environment variable. And whatever environment variable you want to set, you need to provide it in a key value pair. So as you can see that for my target bucket, which we had earlier hard coded in our code, now I am using it in the environment variable. So I have created an environment variable for same, and we're gonna use this target bucket key instead of hard coding it in our code. So if you will go to the coding section, and here in the code, you would see that earlier this target bucket was hard coded, but now we are using environment variable instead of hard coding the target bucket. And this is the syntax to use the environment variable in your code. You have to import this OS library. Let me just maximize the code editor. You need to import this OS library, and using this syntax os.environ, you can use your environment variable. Using this line, you should be understanding that environment variables, all environment variables which you created in your Lambda function get stored inside a environ dictionary, and you can fetch those environment variable using that dictionary and key combination. So basically you can understand that we are running this Lambda function inside some machine. So these variables get stored inside the environment of that machine, or you can understand that inside a operating system environment of that machine. So this is nothing but the introduction of environment variable. I don't think any other thing is required. You can read the pros and cons of basically pros. We are talking only about the pros of using environment variable. If you have hard coded anything in your code, it is a bad practice. And with that hard coding, you cannot make your code reusable. There will be a security risk. It will be hard to maintain your code, right? So you can read all of these theory. Otherwise, the demo would remain same as we have discussed in the earlier video. Let me do one thing because I have already created an environment variable. Now what I can do is I can trigger our demo. So for that, let me show you the CloudWatch log also at the same time. So this CloudWatch log already have 4 log stream. I want to make sure that when I trigger the code, it should create a new log string. So I'm making some changes in my code. I'll just make some random change and deploy it. So I have clicked on deploying button. It is deploying my code. It should take a couple of seconds to get deployed. It already got deployed now. So because I made new change, I'm making sure that for me, a new log stream should get created. Now let's go back to our source bucket, which we have used in the previous demo. So I'm inside my source bucket. I need to go to raw and orders. Why I need to go to this specific prefixes? Because our S3 event notification is created on top of this prefix only. If I will copy my file inside raw, then S3 event notification will not get kicked off. Because let me quickly show you. If you go to your source bucket properties, if you come down in event notification, you can see that our event notification is on top of this prefix. So I need to copy my file on this prefix only. And I need to make sure that my file have .csv extension. Okay, so let's go back to our prefix and I want to copy this file in the same location. So this time I will not upload it from my local laptop. Instead, I will copy the same file in this, sorry, I will copy the same file in the same location. So the source and target path would remain same. So how you can achieve it? You need to click on actions, then copy in browse S3. You should not make any changes in the destination because it would remain same. Just click on choose destination and copy. So I'm doing a copy operation. It is successful. Now in CloudWatch log, I will refresh. I am expecting a new log stream. So I have a new log stream. Let's open it up. Oh, it's taking time to. Okay. Generally, the Lambda function does not take that much of a time. I'm not sure why it takes so much. We can cross-check how much time it actually took. And here we can see that it took almost 3 milliseconds. That means almost around 3 seconds. If you are facing any problem related to the timeout, I would recommend you to change the timeout of your Lambda function, and you can do it from configuration, general configuration, and don't make it too much. I mean, just 10 seconds should be enough for the demo. Why I particularly asked you to increase the timeout is because you create a Lambda function for the very first time, or I should say when you create a Lambda function and run it for the very first time, that time it takes little bit more than 3 seconds. And the very first instance of your Lambda function run may get error out with issue related to timeout. So in that case, in order to avoid that kind of a situation, it's better if you can increase your timeout to 10 seconds. That will not make much difference because we are anyways working in a free tier. So in CloudWatch, I forgot to tell you one thing that here you can see also that what kind of an event generated our event notification, what kind of an event got generated by event notification. So here you can see that it was nothing but object created copy event. But if I will upload this file right, then it will generate a put event instead of a copy event. So that is something which you need to practice as part of your homework. Other than that, we haven't discussed about these things. So we are printing the source file. We are okay. We are printing a message that we have fetched the target bucket from environment variable, and this is the environment variable value. Then we have created the S3 file path, and then we are printing a message that file got copied successfully. I hope you got an idea what are environment variable. Now in next video, we will discuss about how to utilize layers in Lambda function. So basically, you can see the layers. If you go to Lambda function and there should be a layers concept. If you come over here, you can see the layers here also. Otherwise, you can go to coding section, and I think in the end, you would be able to see the layer. So layers are basically a provision for you, which provide you a flexibility of installing a libraries which are not automatically or by default available to your Lambda environment or whatever machine is getting utilized in the backend. So if a particular Python package is not available, you can just create a layer and you can create a layer and include it in your Lambda function. So basically, you can also see layer uh, related options over here, and you can create layer in this particular section. And later on, you can just include it in your Lambda function. So I hope this is enough. We will meet in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.